Hello, online crew. Hang on, we're having technical difficulties once again. Just bear with me for a second. I'm just pulling up the live. Where is it? Okay, we're going to share there. It's just not going live in the group. So hang on. We're getting there. Group, that group. And gotta love technical difficulties at the beginning of the week. So hello to those of you watching on Instagram. I'm just sorting out a technical issue here on Facebook. So we should be live in the group in a second. There we go. So what I'm talking about today is imposter syndrome. And this is quite common for a lot of people that are building on social media. They feel like they're kind of not good enough, or who would listen to me, or I don't have enough success yet to go online and talk about things. So you second guess yourself, you second guess your abilities, you second guess just kind of showing up online. So it's a real thing for a lot of people, especially when you get started on socials and you're trying to build a following. That imposter syndrome is very relevant. I remember when I first went online, I felt all of that. It was like, why would anybody listen to me? I haven't had any success online. So who am I to talk about social media or, anything to do with a product online, because nobody knows me for that. And I don't have any success around that. And I don't have any runs on the board with that. And definitely business wise, it was, I don't have a big rank, or I haven't made a lot of money to speak of in the industry. So who the hell is going to listen to me? So if you can relate to that, let me know in the comments. I know it's a very common thing. The unfortunate part about it is, that feeling that comes with imposter syndrome of I'm not good enough. I'm not successful enough. I'm not intelligent enough. For some people, it could even be I'm not good looking enough, on social media, which is ridiculous, by the way. But it's that kind of feeling that you feel like a bit of a fraud on social media. Like, who am I to be showing up? And you're basically thinking that you're not worthy of viewers, you're not worthy of an audience, or you're not worthy of success. That's kind of what imposter syndrome kind of really means. So it can really let you down, and it can really hold you back. So it's usually more so at the beginning of your journey, when you haven't had you haven't had sort of some runs on the board. So you don't have that confidence yet to show up and know that what you're saying, people will listen to. So it's more so at the beginning of the journey. And, it goes away the longer you sort of stay on socials and you get a following and you get some engagement. The confidence kind of grows. But you've got to get through this stage, if that's how you feel, to get that confidence, because confidence just doesn't come. Confidence comes from doing the actions of the things that will then give you the confidence. You don't get the confidence first. So it's really important to ride through this stage. But more importantly, it's how. How do you overcome this imposter syndrome? How do you overcome this feeling of feeling like a bit of a fraud showing up online? So I'm going to give you 5 things to think about if this is something that you are suffering with kind of online. Okay? So again, just before we sort of get into it, as with last week, my office area is a disaster zone. The area that I normally kind of sit at was flooded last week, and we've since ripped up all the carpets. The room has been emptied, but we've got dryers and humidifiers and all sorts down there at the moment. It'll be a long time before my office is reset up again. So this is me for a while. But it doesn't really matter where any of you kind of sit. Like, you don't need a professional setup of any kind to turn up and to speak to people online. So that's something that you can let go of sort of straight away if this is something that you suffer with. With the coaching community members this week, what I'm talking about this week for your exclusive training is attract content. What are the different types of content that you can attract more people to you? So that'll be a great training for those of you in my coaching community. So watch out for that training this week. Okay. So these 5 ways are the ways that you can overcome imposter syndrome. The first thing is invest, learn, teach. Have you heard of that before? ILT. Invest, learn, teach. So either you're investing money or you're investing time. It's one or the other, learning some things. And then you turn around and teach it. Okay, so that's all you need to do. If you're feeling like you're unworthy or you don't have the success yet, you don't need to have great success to grow a following online. You don't need to have lots of money in the bank account or a big rank or all those kind of things to be interesting and helpful and valuable online. Just invest either time or money. So you might buy into courses or mentorship or those kind of things, or it might be time in, watching videos like this or other people that you follow, watching some sort of training. You learn and then you teach it. Okay. So you don't need to have all the answers yourself. You can actually learn it from other people, turn around and teach it to others. Okay. So that can help give you influence and that can help you give a lot of confidence. Okay. But when you do that, the second thing, find your own voice. It's very easy to learn other things. And this has happened to me many a time over the years. People listen to my videos and they turn around and teach it. Now that's okay, but where's your voice in all of that? Where's your thoughts, your interpretation, your acknowledgement of the person that you learned it from? That's what people respect. Okay, so you don't want to turn around and act like the expert when you're not. But if you're learning things, then you want to share that. Like, I'm on this journey and I'm just learning that something that I learned from, somebody I follow, if it was just for an example, like one of my videos, like I follow this lady called Helen Martin, blah, blah, and she was sharing the other day. And I thought that was really awesome because, like, find your own voice. Even when you're learning from other people, share your opinions, share your thoughts, share your interpretations, because you've got to bring you into it. If you copy just what somebody else does online or somebody else that you follow online and you just copy what they do, you will lose yourself in that. You won't own that. It won't seem genuine probably to the people that are following you, and you won't keep it up because it's not authentically you. It's not your own voice. So you want to find your own voice in all of that. Okay, so the first thing, invest, learn, teach. That can massively help with imposter syndrome because you can learn lots of stuff and turn around and teach it. That's all you need to do. But secondly, you need to find your own voice when you interpret it and teach it. Okay, you've got to bring your own perspective and your own thoughts and your own views to the table, because that's what people will respect you for. Okay. This third thing, really, really important. I've said this many a time when I've talked about imposter syndrome and how to show up online. Suggest and recommend rather than dictate and tell. Now, what I mean by that is if you're not known as a bit of an expert, you don't have the runs on the board, you're not known to be really successful in what you do and what you're teaching, what you want to do in how you show up online is suggest and recommend, because you're learning it. So you invest in some training, either through money or time, and you learn something and you want to turn around and teach it. So then the second thing that I talked about is you find your voice with that. And it's like, oh, here's something I learned. because I'm on this journey at the moment. This is what I'm looking to achieve. This is why I want to achieve it, blah, blah, blah. Like you share your own voice and your own story with that. So what I learned from this training is, perhaps might be a good thing to try. I tried it too and it worked for me, or I'm trying it and it's working well for me. So maybe it might work well for you too if you X, Y, Z. So see how I've shared that in a way that's, I'm learning. This is what I'm doing. This is why, the reason why I'm doing it. This is what I've learned. It's working well for me. Maybe it might work well for you too. So you're learning, you're finding your voice in it, and you're suggesting and you're recommending. That is very different from somebody who's new, turns up online and goes, here's the 5 ways you need to do X, Y, Z in however you're positioning yourself online. Does that make sense? So number 1, you should do this. Number 2, you should do that. Number 3, you should do that, etc. So you're turning up and you're teaching, but you're very much dictating and telling people what to do. That brings judgment. Now, if you're an Oprah Winfrey of the world, you can carry it off. If you've got influence, if you've got success, if you've got runs on the board, people know you for being an expert in something, you can absolutely carry that off, no problem. But if you're newer to your journey online, that might raise skepticism. Well, who is she or he to tell me that? What are their credentials? Maybe part of your problem with imposter syndrome is you want to talk about something in a product that you're sharing, but you don't have any, let's say it's a health product, but you're not a health guru, or you don't have any certificates, or you don't have any credentials. So you're like, well, who's going to listen to me? You can learn things about that health thing. You can share the story of why that's important to you. And then you can share and recommend, if somebody's struggling with this, then maybe you might try this because it could work for you too. So when you suggest and recommend rather than dictate and tell on social media, you are perceived totally differently. So that's a massive one for imposter syndrome. Try that on. Okay, that's number 3. Number 4, always value your audience. Talk to them. Don't talk at them. It's the same kind of thing with, dictating and telling versus suggesting and sharing. So bring your audience into the conversation, ask for engagement, ask them questions, value them. If somebody gives you a love or a comment or something, thank them. Like really value anybody that shows up for you in those early days. We should value them at any stage in your journey. But really value your audience and tell them that. Okay. And share how much you value anybody listening to your video or, your suggestions and your recommendations. You really want to value your audience and never do a video, like a live video like this, and leave comments unattended. Like for somebody to watch or read a piece of content in yours and leave a comment of any sort, for you not to respond to that at the beginning stages of your journey is really bad. Okay. I still, to this day, like you look at any of my kind of posts or videos, for the most part, I will always respond to people and thank them for watching or leave them a comment of some sort. I mean, if they leave multiple comments, not always, but you know what I mean? Like, so you've really got to value your audience. The other thing you want to do in the beginning, which is may not be what you want in the beginning, is do a lot of things for free and give a lot of value for nothing. Yeah, nothing. So not every video and not every piece of content needs to have a call to action to, to opt in for something or to ask about a product or to ask about your business. Just share great stuff and great value and great information just because. That will help build up your credibility and authority while you've got this issue of thinking, who's going to listen to me? Give them a reason to listen to you. Be helpful and be valuable without expecting anything in return. When you give a lot to social media and you become more valuable on social media, people will start to listen and the money will come. But if every time you show up on socials, you are thinking, how do I get a sale? How do I get a customer? How do I get a team member? How do I get a client? Whatever you classify them as. If it's all about what you can get from it, people will see right through that. So if you're at the beginning stages of your journey and you do have this kind of imposter syndrome, think about what you can give and what you can share. And you don't even have to use your own brain with all of this anymore. We've got AI to draw on. There are no excuses for not coming up with valuable, helpful information for your audience in whatever niche that you have chosen to show up on social media, with having AI at our fingertips to come up with all the information that you can be come up with great value. You could come up with even like a PDF that is free that you give away that you didn't even write, because you asked AI to come up with a great guide for you with your 5 top tips to solve a problem. What is it, the problem that you solve? And you give away that for free. That's how you build up credibility and influence in the beginning, and you become helpful. And when you become helpful and you become valuable, people will come back and listen to you over and over again. So you can build up that influence and that credibility, and you can give helpful information without needing any credentials, without having any runs on the board, without having a huge rank in your company, without having tens of thousands of dollars that you think you need for people to listen to you. You can be helpful right now with no success. If you bother to do a little bit of research, use AI, get some great information around the problem that you solve, and share it. Share it in videos, share it in posts, put it in a PDF, give it out. So become valuable and share helpful information. I still do it today. I do not need to turn up and do these videos. I was just sharing with my VIP students, we just got off a call, how it doesn't matter how successful you are, what rank you get to, I guarantee you, your leaders in your company still want to give up on their business all the time and still have imposter syndrome. I do. I just shared with them openly, like, my life is chaos at the moment, like, with my health, flooded downstairs area, my office is gone at the moment. My dad's going loopy in the nursing home. He packs up his room every single day. I go see him. I have to unpack all his clothes again. There is so much going on. I got my car side swiped. Now I have to get that fixed. Like, sometimes life throws you a lot of stuff and you want to throw in the towel, or you start second guessing what you're doing. Like, life can be tough sometimes, but even with all of that, and I had the most sales I've had in my business with all of that going on in July than I've had in 5 months. Had the most sales I've had in my business in 5 months, in the month just gone, July, with all the crap that's going on in my world and occasionally wanting to give up on everything. And I was telling the VIP students this morning, why am I doing these videos? Why do them? I do them for free twice a week to give you guys tips to help you. I don't ask for anything in return for these videos. Nothing. I just do them to try to be helpful to my audience. And I'm grateful to anybody that watches. And if you comment, then I will respond, etc. I do them because it's part of my business with, being helpful and building an audience and sharing good value, to those that it matter. And I know that anybody that has imposter syndrome, that these tips could be helpful to those people. That's why I share them. I'm not asking you to opt into anything. I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm not asking you for anything. And I do this twice a week publicly just because. So think about that with you growing your following and you growing your influence and credibility and reducing the imposter syndrome. What are you doing that is just being helpful for the sake of helpful, or giving value for the sake of value, rather than just always being about the sale? Okay. You've got to earn the right for a sale, especially on social media these days. So your consistency in how you show up. But if you put those 5 things together and you show up in a way that's really sharing and suggesting, and you share the journey and you share your story and you find your own voice, not somebody else's voice. You don't want to be like me. You don't want to be like anybody else. You don't want to just copy somebody's content, turn around, and teach it. Although the first one is ILT, you want to teach it with your voice, with your thoughts, with your recommendations. Okay. So I hope that's helpful in some way for those of you that, you just kind of hold yourself back a little bit in showing up in online in a way that you need to, because of the judgment that you're putting on yourself. Let go of the judgment. There's like people that are actually frauds don't worry about what they do because they're frauds. So that's not you. You're not a fraud. You're not an imposter. You just haven't got enough confidence yet. But you can grow that confidence if you start implementing those 5 things that I've shared with you, and you show up in a certain way online that can help you build the confidence. Okay? So I hope this video is helpful to those of you that do suffer from this, and go and put it to practice. Like, just show up in a slightly different way. And you just got to do it consistently, though. You can't just do it one off and things are going to magically change in your business. You have to be consistent with doing it as well. Okay. So I hope that's helpful, and I will see you live again, not tomorrow, but the next day. And coaching community members, don't forget your exclusive training this week, where I'm going to run through a variety of different types of attract content, because every single one of you should always be focusing on attracting new followers on whatever platform that you're on all the time. You always need new eyeballs to keep your business growing. Okay. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.